It could be considered the Lululemon for tweens, without the see-through pants. Opening its first store in Calgary in 2005, Triple Flip quickly found its niche in active fashion wear for girls caught between that awkward stage of little kid and cool teen. Since then, it has become the go-to brand for sports teams. And that first store is now one of 11 in Canada. Like so many entrepreneurs, the founder of Triple Flip recognized a need and acted on it. I am pleased to welcome Linda Maslechko to our CEO series. Hello, Linda.
Hi, Angela.
I want to start off by finding out a little bit about Linda. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Calgary, moved here after grade 1 and spent the school years here and had a sister and 2 brothers and just a very active family life in the community.
Where'd you grow up in Calgary?
We were in the southwest in Palliser and then Pump Hill, and we were the first students at Nellie McClung School when it opened.
When you were growing up, tell me some of the people who were fairly influential in your life.
Well, it certainly would have been my parents. My parents were building a life for themselves, and my mom, what I take from her, she's an amazing list maker, attention to detail, and excellent. She was an English major in school, so getting correct grammar and spelling, that was everything. And I think the ability to communicate is really important. And my dad had a really creative entrepreneurial nature, and so our growing up, it was never enough just to make things ordinary. You always wanted to create the wow in something. I think, what I learned most from him is that, there's no sense of entitlement. You earn it, and you set the standards for yourself, and you really go for it, and that's fun.
After high school, post-secondary education?
Yeah, I went to UBC, and I studied home economics, but I was also on the varsity basketball team. So I was one of the only ones that made it from my high school team to actually play in the university level. So I kind of say sometimes I majored in basketball and minored in my studies, but it was a great experience and had a lot of fun. And from there, moved to Toronto with my husband. He was going to law school in Toronto, and so began my career there. So I started as a secretary at a brokerage firm, and very quickly realized that I could do this. And what I saw, from the people around me, a lot of them were MBAs and had different degrees behind their name than I had, but I could see that there was a need for the customer there that wasn't necessarily being met, and having that sensitivity to how you can help was very fierce inside of me. And so I wrote all my Canadian securities courses, exams, and got licensed and became the youngest broker they'd ever had in that office.
Because here you are in Toronto finding out that these MBAs aren't really in touch with the customer. Is that what you thought?
Well, that's right. And having that consumer perspective is something that I've always really carried through my life with me, is that it's important. I want to help people. I want to make a difference. And I think sometimes business can forget about who they're serving. And that's, it's all about the trade or the deal or, how you can flip things. And I was really focusing on the people that I could help. And so I was giving educational seminars about financial planning. I got my certified financial planners degree, and was giving seminars on tax planning and, helping old people with their nest egg to plan and manage their finances. So that was the approach that I was taking. And it was something that was very novel and unique at that time.
I like the fact that you had this home economics degree, and I don't know if I should split the brain into two sides, but to me that's sort of a creative side, and then you really found a niche in the finance side. So obviously you've got a well-rounded brain.
Well, that is, I do enjoy both sides, and I love the business aspect of what I do, and also the creative aspect. And in creating Triple Flip, it was like the perfect marriage for me of both worlds, because I can go from a finance meeting to designing a cute little skirt all in a matter of an hour. So it really is challenging and keeps me engaged all the time.
Got to tell me then where Triple Flip was born.
Well, it was being in the marketplace, and as a consumer, what I saw for my daughters was, we were really struggling finding those clothes that they wanted to wear. And, when they're younger and they're, 5 or 6 or even 7, you can choose what clothes you want them to wear. And there's a lot more selection, actually, for the younger girls. But as they were growing older, I was trying to grow these independent-minded, strong girls, able to make their choices for themselves. But there weren't the choices out there.
She took a home economics degree at UBC, and really sewing wasn't her thing. She was more into the food. So you've got to say, someone's got to come up with the clothes for my daughters in this age group. You thought it should be you?
I knew it had to be me. It wasn't out there already, and it was a good reason for me to come back. And I was looking for that something where I could make a difference, and I felt I had a unique experience, both being a mother and a consumer. I knew the business side, but it's that sensitivity to the market, and the tween brands that were out there that our daughters had to choose from. I looked at them, and most of them were just a downsized version of a teenage brand, and so the colors weren't right, and some of them were exposing too much skin and feeling kind of trashy. And like, my daughters were not going to clubs at night. They were
Thank
going
goodness.
to I know, right? They were going to dance class, and they were going to school, and they were playing outside, or they were lounging around doing their homework. Like, they needed clothes that they could actually live in. And so I really felt that there was a need for something that fit their lifestyle and fit their color and fashion aesthetic. They want to stand out yet be part of the crowd. So color was a big thing. When they looked at a clothing line, like at that point there was Jacob and then Jacob Jr., but it was all, muddy tones like plums and khakis and army greens, and that wasn't what a 9-year-old wanted to put on her body. So we had to make it fun and happy. And I think it's such a fun and happy age of life that the kids should be able to celebrate. They should have fun shopping. It should be exciting. And it should feel like there's a place just for them. Not that they're shopping in Gymboree because their mom, they're
Right.
done. They're done with that.
They're
They're
done
ready
with
to move
Gymboree,
on.
yes.
And so we're very careful about, with our brand that it is not. We are there just for that tween. There isn't another age group that we serve that goes wider than that. And it's important for them to feel honored and respected in that way. They are a sophisticated shopper. The other thing I saw for my daughters is that brand does become important for them. And when I looked at the things that they were sort of idolizing, they might have a sticker on their binder or something else. Well, none of these actually related to brands that they could wear. They weren't made for them. They didn't fit them. And so I thought, as a mother, I want my daughter to aspire to a brand that represents something of positive value. So for me, that was a healthy lifestyle. So active lifestyle made a lot of sense, and also respect for her body, so that she was wearing clothes that fit, that made her feel good and happy inside. So these were the kind of values I wanted to create with the brand, and there needed to be a brand out there that girls could grab onto and say, I am proud to be wearing Triple Flip.
But where'd you come up with the name Triple Flip?
Oh, well,
Is that a long
it's
process?
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard coming up with a good name. And we really wanted something that gave us the opportunity to really express who we are. And, going back to the Olympics, I think of those closing ceremonies and watching the athletes march around McMahon Stadium, and a couple of them busted out some backflips right in front of me. And I thought, oh, that's the ultimate celebration of happiness, right? I wish I could do that. And so when I thought of a flip, that was the ultimate happy. And so that name that stuck with me. And as I was looking for things, I also found someone's moniker on Facebook or something that said Flip Girl, and I thought, that's it.
Linda, what a great story, and I'm so glad you were able to drop by and share it with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.